Greetings to you, fellow Zambian citizens. It is with a very heavy heart that I speak to you on this very sad day for our country, Zambia. It is no longer a rumor or propaganda, but something that has been confirmed by government through the Ministry of Health. Government has just confirmed the story or a fact that the Mealie meal or some of the Mealie meal that we are consuming, which Mealie meal is out on the market today, contains a very poisonous toxin. Which toxin affects or attacks the liver and the lungs. Eventually, those who are consuming this Mealie meal will end up dead. As confirmed, a reported good number of dogs that have eaten this food have died. Fellow citizens, my heart bleeds today because if you thought having 17 to 20 hours of load shedding was evil, this is more evil than that. If you thought the looting of public coffers, scandal after scandal, was evil, this is more evil. If you thought the prices of essential commodities increasing on a daily basis was anything to go by as a challenge, well, we now have a worse evil in our midst. The saddest part, which I cannot comprehend, is that government has decided to hide the name of the Mealie meal or the brands of Mealie meal that have got the said toxin in the name of doing investigations. If indeed the Minister of Health had an iota of proper reasoning, he should have named the said brands that are suspected to contain this toxin, so that in the period of investigations, the public are aware and can avoid these brands, because we know these brands are known by government, but they are being investigated. What sort of recklessness would that be, to subject your people to continue consuming a poisonous Mealie meal in the name of wait, we are doing investigations? The big questions today, fellow citizens: how did we get here? Now, you do remember, fellow citizens, that years ago, 2 years ago, we had pleaded with the Minister of Agriculture not to sell the maize that the UPND government found in our maize sheds. I think you all do remember the adamancy, the arrogancy that the Minister of Agriculture exhibited towards those cause. I remember the famous saying from the minister, we shall never, ever stop selling maize. The truth is that the UPND found enough maize stock that would have lasted us 2 seasons of a heavy drought. They sold all the maize out. And today we've become a begging nation, to an extent where Burundi, the world's second poorest country, comes to give us beans. Fellow citizens, drought has not started today, and there's no sane person today who is in leadership that should continue to blame it on the drought. Are you telling me that even the decision to just sell the maize that was plenty in stocks could be attributed to drought or climate change? The Minister of Green Economy had told Parliament, Bane, there's going to be drought. And the areas of drought were highlighted: Southern Province, Lusaka, and the Eastern. Traditionally, the Eastern Province and Southern Province are our bread basket. They produce more maize. But it was predicted that they will experience serious drought. A normal functioning leadership would have made a decision to take farming inputs away from Southern, Eastern, and Lusaka into the areas that were said to at least be spared from the drought: Northwestern, part of Copperbelt, Luapula, and the northern part. Alas, our friends decided to take more farming inputs to Southern Province, to Eastern Province, and part of Lusaka. In the end, that farming input was wasted. And today, we have a dismal performance in the agriculture sector. Can we blame this on climate change? Can we blame this in decisions on drought? Certainly not. It is the effect of incompetent leadership. But here we are. We now have to deal with an evil, or with the evil called the toxin, the poisonous toxin, in the mealie meal that we are now consuming. Why? For the first time in many years, arguably 30 years, do we now have to be importing maize? Poor decisions. The poor decisions, or the poor decision to export all our food, has made us start importing maize, has made us start importing GMOs. The end result is that now we've brought poison into our food systems. Let me break it down to you, fellow citizens. Some of the mealie meal you are eating today contains that toxin, and you may have already consumed a lot of it. In short, a lot of us today are moving corpses to Limfwayenda as we speak today, because we've already consumed it. And we continue to consume that today because your government, through the Minister of Health, has decided to hide the name of the brands of mealie meal that contains or are under investigations to be containing that toxin, which is poisonous. Today, I'm not in a good place. I don't want to say much, but only to ask this. How long are we going to continue complaining? We should complain about electricity. We should complain about the high cost of living owing to escalating prices of, essential commodities. We should be complaining about corruption, the rampant corruption being reported every day, the terrible decisions of selling and buying properties by government at outrageous prices. We should now continue to complain about eating poisonous food. How long? How long? I leave it up to you. And I want to borrow the words of President Hakainde Hichilema. If your government can't change your lives, because look, like President Bill Clinton said, politics is an enterprise that should advance public interest. When you are elected, your preoccupation must be to advance the interest of the public, as opposed to pursuing personal and private interests. The decisions to sell our maize was purely private and personal interest. Amadilu, like the famous Gordon Manela deal, a company registered today. 3 days ago, they give it millions of a contract to sell or to buy the maize and sell it out. Amadiru. At the expense of public interest or public good. So I leave it to you. If your government can change your lives, sadly, as President Nkana says, you have a duty to change that government. So that Saturday today, my heart bleeds heavily because I never thought in my lifetime as a political leader, my country will get down to its knees. We've become a beggar, a laughing stock, now compromising the lives of our people. Abantu balamba okupona fye nga masaka. We'll start dying like idiots because right now we've consumed that mealie meal. And I want to believe that the cheap mealie meal we are buying should be the same mealie meal that should be containing this poisonous toxin. What happened to us? What happened to Mother Zambia? What wrong did we commit? What mistake did we make to be subjected to this? What wrong did we commit? What wrong have we done to the UPND leadership to subject us to this? Finch to Alfianya. Finch if to Alfianya. I leave it up to you.